Do they have a health code? I guess that would be what you should and shouldn't eat, what they tell you can and can't eat.
I used to think they were against chocolate, but one time I had visited, they actually had a basket for me as a visitor with chocolate in there. So I was actually surprised at that. I think for the most part, they follow the clean and unclean food laws. It's funny because as Christians, we typically follow that anyway. The only challenging meats we might deal with in contrast to the Bible would be like shrimp and pork. But we're not eating our cats. We're not eating like rats, whatever bird we can grab out of the sky. So I think that typically they just have typical foods, yogurts, fruits. They have an organic farm, at least the community I visit. So it's really the best food you could possibly eat.
Okay.
But if they asked me not to eat chicken, I'd say that's fine. What's for lunch? I really wouldn't care.
Okay. How about time regulations? Do they regulate your time?
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a team effort there. They work long hours, they work hard, they get a Sabbath that's off. I suppose like any structured, even in my house, we have time. We all go to bed at a certain time. We all get up. My kids have obligations by time. So I certainly hope they have a structured system because I actually prefer it that way rather than just like sitting around wondering what to do.
Okay. Do they have any bizarre rituals and ordinances?
Not that I'm aware of. It's funny because a lot of the criticisms or a lot of what I was expecting was very romanticized based on the ex-members and a lot of videos I saw. But I can't there's nothing that I saw that was even near exciting or unique. It literally was much more boring than I was expecting. Like when you hear religious cult, or when you hear like living on the compound, it's literally just people living out their lives, doing their thing. And if it wasn't, people could just leave. In fact, there's a lot of attempts from people to try to pull people out of there and they don't want to go. So I don't know. If there is a weird ritual, I'll probably just leave.
Okay. Financial obligations or commitments?
Well, what's interesting about this particular subject is I heard in your first video that I originally responded to about asking you to give up your things, your possessions. In my situation, I don't really have much. I'm debt free, but as far as my possessions, like would be a car, a couch, a TV, maybe some photos, a cell phone, I probably wouldn't care. In fact, I'd probably be happier getting rid of it all. We've done a recent cleanup and like minimize all of our stuff. And I feel like the less I have, the happier I am. So I don't have anything for them to take. Now, I do know that when I originally started meeting them, I had student loans. And if you become a baptized member and join the community, they, in a sense, will take on whatever you bring, all the problems you bring. And so I imagine what that means is they make minimum payments until, as long as you're with them. I don't think people can just join, they pay off all your debt, and then the person leaves. So they're probably protecting their assets as well. But in my case, I don't have anything. And even if I did, when I die, it's going to get dispersed anyway.
Okay. Do they regulate relationships and who you spend your time with?
I don't know as much. I think probably, I think it's wise, from my observations about society and social interaction, I feel like we've lost a lot of like reverence or respect for the opposite. For the opposite gender. When I walk on the street and I see a woman or with a child, it's like a subconscious, I feel like I need to get out of the way and go around them. I noticed that when my wife was pregnant and I had kids, people didn't honor that. They just bump into you. When they're smoking, their cigarette, when their hand is dropped, is like baby head high. So I find that really society has no barrier between interaction with who and who not. So I guess I would like to see that, men aren't spending alone time. I know a lot of evangelists and Christian leaders I've met talk about not being alone in an elevator with a woman, just for, for their own integrity, but also so they don't get like some accusation. So I imagine there's probably a huge emphasis on But you know what? But now that I think about it, I mean, I've had private conversations with people of all ages, genders. So I don't know. But even if they did, I mean, I saw them playing volleyball on the Sabbaths with each other. I see them go swimming. So I don't really know if they did. I don't know. I guess I would just hang out with the bros. I don't know.
What kind of interaction do the members have with non-members?
Quite a bit. I mean, they run as you know, they run the restaurant, so their whole business is interacting. They go to farmers markets and sell goods to the over society. I know they do like evangelism occasionally. They allow visitors to come on to their property like all the time. I mean, I could literally just show up there anytime unannounced. So I think that they have probably more. In fact, one of the things I was going to say when I joined is I'd actually like to stay away from people for a while. I'm actually getting quite burnt out. And I can get into details of why I feel that way, but I could use a vacation in a sense from the world. So I hope that there's less, to be honest with you.